Hello, and in today's video is going to be a video aimed towards newer players and maybe a bit of mid players maybe. I'm not quite sure how this video is going to go. I haven't written a script, I never do. So in no particular order, we're going to be talking about what a new player should be doing. Now this is from somebody who has not done a beginner account since, well, this is the time I've been playing, so quite a while I've been playing. But I have seen other people do beginner guides a little bit, and it's just to get a 2024 before, you know, whilst the collab is going on, idea of what to do. So first thing you should be doing is whatever the game tells you to do. So when you get a bit more control of the game, where you, after you've done a little bit of the basic tutorial, on the left hand side here where the event is and where my mystery box thing is, just, can I move it? It's not letting me move it, but anyway, just right here near the arena thing, underneath my name where it says G, there should be called something called Summoner's Way. You want to do as much of that as possible to get as much goodies as possible. I can't show it because I've done it a long time ago, but that's one of the things you want to do. Whilst you're doing all this, you want to look in chat as well. As you can see here, you get SD dungeons, so you request to go into it, so you'll get it, so then we can go into here. We should be able to see it from here. Kairos dungeons, and we'll go here to the secret dungeons. As you can see, I've opened up a few, and the Come to Us right now has a Grim Reaper secret dungeon on, and yeah, as you can see, that's how that all works. So another thing you'll want to do is keep an eye out on which particular monsters you want whilst you're doing the tutorial. So where is the secret dungeon bit? Here they are. So for light, one of the most important ones, you will want to get a cowgirl. You'll want to get a griffin, and you want to get a Lin. A Lin's not as important, which is the Amazon. Also, keep an eye out for a Darien. Now, the main one I would say is Cowgirl and the Griffin. But you will want to make sure you can get a Lin and a Darien, because they can be used later. Now, for dark teams, this guy is good, but you don't really need him early on, but you can get him. You want to make sure you get this guy to make your dark Ifrit, but I think there's events that change, so you might not need to keep an eye out on him, but just in case, do keep an eye out for him. So you got the Dark Yeti for the Veramos, you got him for a team that you'll make later. The Dark Witch is actually pretty decent, she's going to be a dotter, so she's actually worth making, and he's okay as well, but mainly I would say get a crow as well from there. So they're the main ones in the dark that I would recommend getting. Here, I would recommend a Spectre in the fire category. He is going to be one of the best monsters you can get as a free-to-play player to get, and he's a 3-star. He's really strong, and I would recommend 2Aing him first. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but I would recommend 2Aing Spectre first. Everyone else is not really needed, unless you wanted to get some skill ups and stuff. Now here, the only one I would recommend is probably the Werewolf. I mean, there's other teams you can do with some of these guys, but really they're not as crazy, so I wouldn't go out my way personally to get them. Here, the Wind Cat can be also good as a 2A damage dealer, so she could be worth keeping an eye out as well, but that's mainly what I would do. So whilst you are keeping an eye out for chat for any of those monsters or asking in chat, you'll also want to go and, as you can see, guild. You'll want to go and join any random guild, so that way you can get the guild shop, which is this one. So as you can see, it lasts for about 8 hours, and you can buy 4-star pieces, you can get summons and stuff, so it's definitely worth it. And you'll also want to pay, I think you have to pay crystals and mana, but you'll want to open up this shop as soon as possible, because you can get some good stuff from there as well. And I would recommend buying the unknowns if you can, but you don't necessarily have to, otherwise, you know, you just don't. Another area you'll want to keep an eye out is your arena. And arena, because you want to, where do we go? Here. You'll want to buy your Devilmon. You can only buy this once a week, so it's very important that you get the 180 to get it. And don't bother with the scrolls, they're not necessarily worth it. But this is all stuff that you want to keep an eye on at the same time. So you'll want to be getting this whenever you have your wings. Now, as you can see, I've got 13 wings, so I should actually be using mine, but I'm not going to. And you'll also want to come here to your skill checkup thing. Now, the most important one, I would say, is the speed tower to upgrade. Now, you get these by leveling up, I believe. So when you get 100, and I think there's something else you get for doing them, but I can't quite remember. I honestly don't remember, but it's the main one that you want, is the speed. Then you might want to go crit damage, attack. They're the main ones, and then you can get the elemental ones later. The guild one isn't really important, but you'll want to do them later anyway, but you don't really need them. Now, depending on how often you're going to play, if you're going to play for like hours upon hours upon hours, would be depending on what you do here. Now, the max energy one is pretty good, but also the speed is pretty important as well, depending on how much you're going to farm and play. The arcane towers are not that important, and neither is the arcane speed, and the mana isn't really important either. Maybe as a new player it is, but these are not really things you really care about. It's mainly these I would recommend getting. So whilst you're doing all that as well, so make sure you see up here, if I'm clicking at the top right, when you get to a new level, they'll refresh. So it's worth using as much energy in all your wings as possible, so that way you can get 10 wings again after you've just done 10 wings. So your XP bar will be where it says max, so you would want to keep an eye on that. So whilst you're doing all that, you will also want to be, well, once you've done all the scenario bits, recently they added, I can't show you because I've done it, but if you do all the difficulty on scenarios, you can get like special rewards now, which was introduced not that long ago from the time of recording this, maybe about a month or two ago, but I've already done it, so as you can see I don't get the option. But here, we'll talk about the 2As. Now let's go to the first place. Now here's Crow's 2A, he is worth doing, but like I said, I would personally go for Spectra first, and then maybe Crow. Because Spectra is just going to be so worth it. And by this time you should have the 2A unlocked. So these other ones here, like this one, don't bother with this unless you can actually do it. It's not really worth it. But don't bother looking too much at the times either. They're not really important how fast you can do it. But for, I think it's this one. If you are getting close to killing the boss, use your crystals to refresh. I don't remember what you get from it, but from Summoners Way you do get something for that, and it does actually count refreshing with crystals. So don't do it all the time, but if you're very close and you think you can pass it, then use your crystals just to get the advantage. So here he's useless, don't bother with him. Now here, none of these monsters are particularly crazy. You could get Carly, the fire one, but she's not all that needed. Like I say, I would honestly just work on, not this one, Spectra. Spectra's a really good 2A, and you'll want to make sure he's maxed. So for here, you do Vigor or the Cat. Vigor and the Cat are really good. Escher is the light one of the werewolves, and he's pretty good as well. Some people will make the Dark Cat and the Fire Cat and the Water Cat as well. But therefore, like, different situations which, as a new player, you won't need. Now here, not this one, I keep clicking the wrong ones. This is the one you want to do for runes. Lulu, I forgot about, is actually an okay monster as well. The living armors, they're not something that a new player is going to really do, and neither's, well, the Dark Frankenstein. No, it's not the Dark Frankenstein, it's the Dark Living Armor. He might be someone that you want to make, and you might want to make the water one at a later point as well. If you have, like I say, this is more towards new players, but some mid-game, so it's a new to mid-player guide, so if they want to get better, they can. Now here, Darian's quite good, and the Witches. I would recommend doing the Dark Witch for TOA, which is a very important thing to do dots. And the Light Witch is quite good on damage, but she's not as needed, but she is also very good. So let me show you my Spectra quickly. Where is my Spectra? As you see here, these stars are slightly different. So all these stars here are 2-aid versions. So here's my Spectra. As you can see, it's very important to skill Spectra up because of this skill 2. I did Devilmon mine, and I Devilmon the light one. You don't need to, but definitely do it, as it's really worth it. Now for my thing, I have on a violent and accuracy on a good crit, good accuracy build. Not that fast, doesn't need to have that much attack because Spectra does skill 2 damage based on the enemy's max HP. So you don't need to run him on anything crazy. Now I'll also show you, I run Spectra in my Dragons team on the exact same runes. So as you can see, I do use Spectra, and I have been playing the game for a while, so it goes to show that Spectra is quite useful. I also use Spectra in TOA Hell. So now let's get on with TOA. TOA is going to be something that you're going to want to get done pretty quick. You do not want to do Hell. Do not touch Hell. Most people can't do it. But for TOA normal, you will want to get it done, as you can get some really nice rewards for doing it. I don't want to buy it. I just wanted to see. That's not what, where is it? There it is. So as you can see, these are the rewards you get. Stage 50. Oh, sorry, stage 50 is different. Normally that's not this scroll. So that's what you get for normal, and that's what you should really focus on. So in the event bit, you should probably have something that allows you to pick monsters. So each, when you start in, these are the events that are available to me. So you also want to check out for some codes as well, and this is how you check the codes. So I'm going to remember to put the website down below in the description. If you just type in Summoners War codes, it should be the first thing that comes up. There's not a lot of codes always, but ooh, sorry, there is a lot of codes going on right now because they're doing like some sort of RTA champion rubbish, and you know, a lot of us won't actually bother with that. So this is the RTA area I'm talking about here. It's people versus people, and I'm a bit tilted because I ended up losing a crazy amount. So yeah, I'm not very happy with that. But so for the monsters that I would recommend you making to begin with, well, getting, I would recommend, hang on, let's go to the fusion, not the fusion, the, yeah, fusion. So, Veramos is the monster you want to make first. So, in that little thing you can make Veramos first. He is a great monster. Then maybe you'll want to make the Sea Emperor. If you can, not Sea Emperor, Lightning Emperor. If you want to make him, he's a good choice. Riley is also a good choice, but you don't really need to make her just yet. He's okay. He's used in RTA, so, you know, bear that in mind. The Panda doesn't really get much use. Paladin's okay, but not for some stuff. Phoenix I don't really use anymore, and Katarina doesn't really get used anymore either. So Veramos is the main pick here, in my personal opinion. Devilmon mine, I don't regret him. He is so good. So then I would go probably the Emperor, because you can make him later with a team, but like I say, Veramos is the main one. So let me show off my Veramos, wherever I put him. Here it is. So this is my Veramos. He's got a skin on. These are his overall stats. As you can see, he's max skilled. And this is what he is on, a Violent Broken. There's artifacts. The artifacts are not the best in the world, but I have him more of a damagey build because he does do some nice damage. But yeah, Veramos is a must, I would say. Then the next monster you can get from the Pick Your Own Nat 4 event, I would recommend Tyrone. Tyrone is very good. I use him in TOA Hell sometimes, and TOA Hell is towards end game content, so don't worry about that. But in TOA in general, he is very good. So you'll want to get him for sure. He wants to be on a violent build if you can, with good accuracy, okay speed, and that's pretty much all he needs. Also, I don't remember if I said in the secret dungeons. So where is it? It's, secret dungeons. This bit. I don't know if I said about getting Bella. I don't remember, but Bella's worth getting as well. I just remembered. I don't think I mentioned that, so whoopsie. But yeah, get Bella as well, because Bella is pretty strong for early game as well. Also, where is she? I don't think I have her anymore, but this monster here, you don't need her to aid, but as she's a 2-star, she'll be okay. But you could also 2A her if you don't mind about slow. She's not actually the worst monster in the world, but I don't recommend her all that much. So, that's just my personal opinion anyway. That she's not that crazy. But for the tips and tricks, I hope it does help. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to mention? Joining a guild, you got keep an eye in the chat for the secret dungeons. You've got certain monsters that you'll want to make. I think that's pretty much it. Like I say, for TOA you'll want to get it done as quick as possible because you'll get more summons and more stuff. But like I say, there's quite a lot for you to focus on, but it is worth it. But once you get here and unlock the 2As, definitely work on 2A Spectra, and we'll show you the Shaman as well actually, because he's also pretty good. Where is he? There he is. And as you can see, he's on my Lucian build, he's on a rage build, he's on a pure damage. But as you can see, you can kind of also run him on a tanky build, on a crit damage, tanky, speedy build. But he'll do an absolute ton of damage because of his passive. Where is it? So as you can see, he increases damage by an absolute ton, and he already does a lot of damage with this skill. But also here is why you want to thing it. Oh, I didn't know. Increase the damage portion to the enemy to match HP. I didn't know it consumed HP. It's just so strong. I didn't even notice that he takes his own HP. Because skill 1, he'll heal himself anyway. So sometimes, like I say, it's better to heal and stuff. But he's a very good monster. I use him in my... not there. I use him in my Necro team. On the exact same build. So for here, it's not exactly free to play. So I can't really show that one off. This one, you can pretty much replace her and replace him for anything, but having a Galleon in here is fine. So, as long as you've got these three, the main core team is there. Oh yeah, there's my army of mavs just sitting there. They will be done at some point. What we've got spiritual realm. Here is a free-to-play team as well, but it might take a bit of time to get. But oh yeah, that's what I needed to talk about. Artifacts! I almost forgot. One of the other things you want to do early on is come to Punisher and Steel Fortress and just do level 1. I'm using the dot team because that's what it was originally when it came out, but then they changed it, so this is what my main team is. Now you can get rid of her and put in the Crow. Like, where is Crow? So you could do this. I think this is the correct Crow. It is. So this is why you want the dark one. Is because this thing puts up a shield and stuff, and this thing also has a chance to stop it, but which is still a good monster. But it's worth getting the artifacts. And for here, I am running a triple dog team, which I was running, but now here's a triple dog team here. Now this is free to play. The team's not perfect, but it does the job for someone who wants to copy it. Oh yeah, we gotta go over about what monsters to buy from the shop. I almost forgot. See, this is what happens when you don't script things. But, what was I talking about? I forgot. But yeah, artifacts, quickly. These are artifacts, which are under this. Now, as you can see, they do different things. So, let's just go to my homunculus. So, as you can see, they are all different. So, you got different stats, and they all do different things. So, for certain monsters, different ones will be needed. So, like for my Light Chun-Li here, she does damage based on being fast. So, she wants to be pretty fast. So, as you can see, these are her artifacts that are based on speed and all sorts and stuff like that. So, I do recommend making sure You get that. Also, this is my second Bailaga, so that's for a different team, which most people probably won't be able to make without a brand here. So, well, I could actually make this better. Anyway, let's not get distracted. But what was I also saying about? Oh, I forgot. It was important, and I forgot. I can't remember. It was important. I know what it was. It's like, oh, we gotta do this thing, and it's like, oh yeah, we gotta do that as well, and I forgot. That's a bit of a problem, but I guess since I can't remember, I will have to just, well, get on with it, I guess. Is there anything else that I think new players will want to keep an eye on? To be honest with you, apart from doing everything I said, I don't think so. Homunculus, we could talk over. No, where is Homunculus? Okay, Homunculuses. Right now, most people run the wind one for giants because he will revive himself and he does an absolute ton of damage. Now, for the girl homunculus, there is a few ways to make her, and you also get to pick the names, so that's why the names are that. And for my dark homunculus, I have gone for this build, which is more for TOA hell, and she's really useful there. So she's definitely a good monster to use for that, but you don't really need her. But for oh yeah, this is another thing we meant to be talking about. Buildings! Oh my gosh, I forgot. So for buildings, you need to do certain things to get them. So when you do your first clears and stuff, but you want to make sure everything that I have made. So this one is worth making if you're going to play the game a lot. Now after a time, it is going to be expensive to pay for it. I think it's about 500 crystals, but in the long run it will pay for itself. But if you're not planning on playing the game that long, then don't bother. But all these ones you'll want to get, as they give you extra goodies and stuff. So as you can see, extra 10 storage and stuff like that, and a number of building storage 10 and stuff. This is a really important one. As you can see, it's here. Boom, 4 energy just for free. So yeah, so pretty much keep an eye on chat. I mean, you know, I think I've said everything that I can think of. There was one thing I wanted to say, but I've completely forgotten what it was. But hopefully this helped. I mean, it's not maybe the best video for new players, as I'm not exactly showing you everything, because I'm not on a new account, but you do kind of get the idea, I hope. So for mid-game, well, new players to mid-game, hopefully it helped. I apologise if it didn't. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and keep an eye out in the description or the comments in case someone has said something. If I can remember what I was talking about before I forgot, then I'll say it, or I'll add it into the end of the video before it goes public, but I honestly cannot remember. Anyway, thank you for watching, and hope the video was helpful in any way, and I'll catch you all in the next